So both teams are coming off of troubling losses, right? The Bucks losing by 35 points, though, in Golden State. That was just a little bit difficult to watch. What are your impressions so far of the Giannis Dame combination, Becky?
How I see this playing out is really they're still getting to know each other. This is like, you have to understand that each of you was brought in to complement the other, and each of you needs the other. And so as they continue to develop this relationship and this chemistry and trust, because Dame was the man over there. Sometimes you might give it to Giannis, okay? And Giannis, at the end of the game, you might be giving it to Dame, but to develop that ultimate trust, it continues, and then a lot of times it could be a minute-by-minute thing, right? Like, but that relationship evolving, I think there's still room for growth. I don't think we've seen the best of it, which is the good news for the Bucks fans, because they're still pretty good right now.
You know, Malika, I think you and I went to the preseason game where Dame and Giannis played together for the first time, and both of them had the same reaction, which was, wow, I have so much space when you have the ball. Yeah. Like, when you're on the court with me, I have so much more room to operate. And I think there was this sense that they just went out and got Damian Lillard at the end there because he asked for a trade and that they couldn't get a deal done with the Heat.
Yeah.
No, the Bucks had wanted Damian Lillard for 5 years. They have a director of scouting named Ryan Hoover who would pitch John Horst, the general manager of the Bucks, on Damian Lillard, say, make that call, see if he's available. So he'd call and he'd call and he'd call. Finally, after they won a championship, he gave a presentation and said, my big idea is Dame. Played his song, got up there and wrote Dame in all block letters. They had been trying to get Damian Lillard for 5 years because they thought this fit would be so good together. And as Doc Rivers told us just a little while ago, he said, you know, it's starting to come more organically. They both understand they need each other and how much the other one helps each other out.
Right, because when I sat down with Giannis, or excuse me, with Dame a little bit earlier in the season, and I asked him about their relationship, he said, if I could have picked any single player in the NBA who my game complements, it would be Giannis Antetokounmpo, but it is just taking a little bit longer than we thought. The Bucks, though, they really don't have any time or space to waste when we see what the Boston Celtics are doing. Their next 10 games, they're no walk in the park. 7 of them are against teams in the Western Conference that have a winning percentage above 500. And then the last game, Chiney, take a look at that, is against the Boston Celtics. So they have been dominant since the All-Star break, but what can they prove in this stretch?
Yes, they've been 6-1 since the All-Star break, but in this stretch, they can solidify themselves as the number 2 seed, and that is no, small feat for the Eastern Conference, even though there are a number of players in the Eastern Conference that are injured. What I see from Dame and Giannis is, I think after All-Star, it was just a sigh of relief. We saw Dame make history as the first person to win All-Star Game MVP and win the three-point contest. I think he sent a message to not only the world, but also to his teammates.
Right.
We got to make the most of this guy right now. And what have we seen since All-Star? Dame pre-All-Star, 34% shooting from 3. Post-All-Star, 42%. There's been a different level of intentionality in making sure he gets the ball, but also just synergy. Everyone wants to talk about this Dame Giannis pick and roll. Well, it doesn't have to be a pick and roll. The reason why the Nuggets work is because Jamal Murray and Jokic, they can do the pick and roll or they can play off the ball. And I think they're starting to realize it doesn't have to be this one simple offense. We just have the intention to look for each other, and they're comfortable now. And I think that's going to help them come the Eastern Conference standings.
He was the All-Star Game MVP. The last time a Milwaukee Buck was the All-Star Game MVP, it was 2021. What happened in 2021? The Milwaukee Bucks won a title. I'm not saying those two things are connected, but if it did happen, maybe you can look back to that. Let's get to the Lakers side of all of this, because they've been on this California staycation. It hasn't exactly been a success. We've been talking about how important it is to maximize this time where LeBron James in year 21 doesn't need to travel up, down, back and forth all around. 5 games in, they're 3-2. They do have 7 more before they have to leave the state. But Becky, what statement can the Lakers make over their next 4 games?
I think they need to make a statement to themselves. I mean, I think we all expect them to show up, and we have a team that can win the in-season tournament and beat anybody, or has the capability of losing to anybody. And I just think if you're a Lakers fan, like, you just want some consistency. Let me see the same team night in and night out, in a competitive team, 1 through 5, who's ever out there. You are playing your off.
Bleep. Holy bleep.
It was this close.
Look, what I noticed, LeBron James, in that sensational moment in the battle for LA, there was a switch. His teammates had his back. They were knocking down threes in that fourth quarter where he outscored the Clippers themselves. They shot 4 for 6 from 3. And since then, the Lakers have shot 53% from the field and also 42% from 3. So that has been their Achilles heel. And now it seems like even though the wins aren't as much as you need, the shooting and the depth is coming back. And that's what they'll need if they want to try to escape this play-in. That seems like they're trapped in the play-in.
It does. But 2 games versus 1 is a big deal, having to win 2 versus 1.
Yeah, I mean, they also have teams in front of them that they can beat now. I mean, the Timberwolves obviously are at the top of the standings, but Sacramento is right there. That's who they have to chase down.
That's why that game the other night was so
Warriors are right
huge.
behind them. That's who they have to keep. That's who they have to keep there. So that's why this stretch right here is so important for them.
Yeah, it really is. Right now is where the Lakers need to decide whether or not they want to be a team that has to win 2 play-in games or 1, because there is a huge difference between the two.